Hey, from holiday gatherings to office parties to fireside conversations and football Sundays, winter means more moments with the coolest people in your life. Make these moments even better with Miller Lite, the great tasting light beer for people who love beer. A new year is a perfect time for friends, family, and great tasting light beer. It's Miller time. Dependable light beer, Chief.
The absolute best. It's football season. It's playoff season. The boys had a day. The boys had a Sunday fun day. We had plenty of Miller Lights flowing. You, me, Danny, Tom. Everybody was out. We had a great little Sunday, and that's what the NFL brings for you, and that's what we need for Miller Lite.
It was. We had buckets going. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. Made from simple ingredients, Miller Lite is for people who love the taste of beer. Malted barley gives it the rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the golden color you know and love. And a clean finish means it's always refreshing and easy to drink. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/redline to find the delivery options near you, or obviously, hey, it's Miller Lite. You could find that beer pretty much anywhere that they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. All right, bang, bang. Welcome to Redline Radio. It's myself, Eddie, and Chief today. White Sox Dave is in the Dominican Republic. I think it's like the World Series or something out there.
It's the Dominican World Series, and he is serving as Donnie's translator as he's down there. So they're looking for baseball prospects. They're taking in the World Series. So it is White Sox Dave week on the internet.
Yeah, this is Redline Radio, presented by Miller Lite, presented by Barstool Chicago. White Sox Dave, he's got that new video out. Go check that out with Francis. It's called Privilege, very funny, and it looks like he's having a blast down there in Dominican too.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of fun. So what's his deal? He minored in Spanish?
I believe it was like one of those things where he would have been considered a double major with Spanish as the second major, but he couldn't travel abroad. Like he had to do a semester abroad in order to get the full credit for the major, and he couldn't do it because of his baseball. I believe that's the story. So he's I think a sports management something like that.
He passed up on going abroad to have an 8 ERA.
Yeah, and be like a bullpen catcher.
That's like the biggest mistake of all time.
Yeah, but if your entire identity up to that point is based on one thing, which is catching baseballs, then I think, people make mistakes like that. I went to a college based largely on hockey, and it was like one of the worst decisions I ever made. So
where would he have gone abroad? Do you know?
I think it was like Spain or Argentina or something.
He could be like the fucking Barcelona suave guy. You're telling me that? And instead he chose to just be like a brute. Yeah. Fucking dipping.
Well, look,
D3 baseball guy.
Would he ever have been in a position to make that video with Francis today if he was a cultured guy who lived abroad for a while?
Yeah, I guess
probably
so.
not.
I guess that's true.
The mutant we see before us on a daily basis is because of the poor decisions he's made in his life.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So you're
but
stuck
he speaks Spanish. He speaks Spanish.
He speaks Spanish, and that's going to be a very funny video too.
Yeah.
So it looks like chaos. I've been following from afar.
Same, yeah.
On Twitter, and he's just like it looks sick. They got guys just kind of like it reminds me of San Francisco where they got people in the McCovey Cove. They're in like kayaks trying to catch home run balls. They have guys on bridges just like trying to catch home run balls.
And it's weird to have like almost like a South American like soccer kind of vibe in the stands where everybody's like fired up the whole time. Baseball here is just like a lot, at least maybe just at Wrigley, but it's a lot of people watching,
Mm-hmm.
We're down there, they're doing like the dancing and the chanting and so yeah, it looks like an electric atmosphere for sure.
Yeah. So go check out White Sox Dave's Twitter. He's got a lot of good stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy for him. He's fucking firing on all cylinders, and it's good stuff. It's coming at the right time because we'll kind of lead off with that too, obviously. We had the big announcement yesterday. Carl's moving to Arizona. He's kind of parting from this show, and this show is going in a different direction. We're going to kind of give you a state of the union of what's going to happen on Redline Radio, because we'll start there. I don't think it's going to be called Redline Radio anymore.
Yeah, we're working on names, and kind of look behind the curtain here. It takes a while to get things done. From like a legal perspective, you have to have the names cleared. You have to go through all these things. And when I say we have to, people in New York have to. So we have to submit our requests. And then that's kind of been the process. And we're kind of waiting for that to be resolved, where The format's going to change as well. So there's some tech components that we're waiting to get ironed out as well. But it's going to be a lot of changes.
Yeah, but it's going to be something that we think you're going to like, and nothing changes for you. It's going to stay in the same feed. So literally, you're just going to wake up one day and you're just going to see like a new name, a new graphic or whatever, and you're just going to download it as usual, and hopefully you like it, and hopefully you stick with us. And I think that's just the way it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think the vibe that we're looking for is more in line with how we did our serious show, and kind of the banter that we've had that have made the snake draft popular, and so serious snake draft, like that kind of a vibe. But we are still Chicago guys, we are still sports guys, so we're still going to be talking about that when appropriate too. We're just not going to be jamming BABIP and the backup right guard kind of down your throat, because like we don't really want to talk about that, and I feel like people don't really want to listen to that. So but we're not changing like who we are. It's just going to be more content, but in a slightly different format.
Yeah, like that serious show, we had a fucking blast doing that.
Yep.
That was a lot of fun, and then it just ended because the serious contract ended. What I think Dave wanted like $100 million or something.
Probably something like that. And then and I think if you remember when that show ended, we were still back in the old Ukrainian Village State Farm Insurance office. We didn't like, the Yak was on, and they just kept like, hey, we'll just switch over YouTube. We didn't have that option because we didn't have the tech capabilities to do that show.
Yeah, we had one little Sony camera that just stood on a tripod, and that's all we had.
Right.
And now we have more actually, we still don't even know if we have the tech components, and that's kind of what's holding this up right now. Like, we thought we did, and that's why we're like, hey, fuck yeah, let's get ready to go. Let's start this week. Turns out we don't know if we do. We're still trying to figure that out, and that's why this takes a little longer. Obviously now Barstool's a lot more corporate, and things just take longer than expected. So, but that's kind of the gist. Like, it's going to be more serious style, but like we said, like, hey, we know, like, we believe in the Bears. Like, fucking Justin Fields going to have a big year. Like, obviously,
Kane gets traded.
We might lose our guy 88.
Yeah,
right. We're still going to be here for all the Chicago sports stories. Like, there's still going to be a way where we're still going to, we'll get into the format and everything.
We're going to scratch that
for
itch.
Sure. Yes,
We're still going to scratch this Chicago sports itch, because that's like baked into our identity, and it's stuff that we would talk about like casually out at the bar anyways, so we're still going to do that. But we're going to deliver probably more episodes and more content, and it's just going to be kind of the talk that seems like the majority of people like.
Exactly, and that's what I think a lot of people,
us included.
Yeah, exactly. We like doing that the most, and that's what we've gathered from a lot of you people too. Like, that's where, like, you guys listen to the show, and when we're having around, we're busting balls off at the top of the show. Like, that's what I
weekend
think people,
story time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the best part, and that's what a lot of this is going to be. So that doesn't mean we're going to stop talking about everything else, but that's what a large majority of this is going to be. And we're going to get back to a lot of that old stuff. Like, I have a trip plan. COVID's for the most part done, although I think fucking Northwestern canceled their game.
Northwestern brought back COVID.
But I'm stamping my bus ticket. I'm going to hop on a Peoria charter, and I'm going to go to Bradley and try to catch a Braves game, and whatever. I'm gonna cash my bet. We'll see if Chief makes his fucking turducken.
I'll make a turducken,
and just get back to doing some fun shit like that. And it's gonna hopefully, obviously, this podcast portion, if you're a person who's not able to catch stuff live, because we're hoping to make it live if we have the tech capability and whatnot. You never know. White Sox Dave is an interesting cat to have live, so it will never be a dull day. I promise you that. So
part of the tech component is we're looking for like the Reale mute button.
Exactly.
Hey Pete, can we have a Reale mute button?
So there's a lot of cool, fresh ideas that we have, and we're excited for it. It's going to be a fun new era kind of thing, I think. So it's going to be
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We're super pumped for it. So I think that's it. We'll hit you guys with how exactly the format's going to work, how many days, the name, all that when it comes. Just in the meantime, stay subscribed, and literally one day you'll just kind of wake up and you'll see it. I think that's just how it is. Or you'll follow us on Twitter and you'll see it there.
Yeah, effectively right now, the audience knows as much as we do.
Yeah.
So we're waiting the same as you to kind of get, some of these things ironed out. And in the meantime, we're gonna do Red Line as we've been doing it, but there are major changes coming.
Yeah. Like, but that should be exciting news. That like, hey, basically, Barstool Chicago Radio Hour Sirius is back. In a different way.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking fired up about that.
Me too.
We all are. Mm-hmm. We're all very fired up about that. And I should note too, like, obviously things are changing. A lot of people are moving here. Like, hey, you know, Carl, obviously he's moving to Scottsdale. He's going to blow it up with starting 9. That's going to be awesome. You know, we might be looking for some new blood too. Obviously we don't have any fucking hiring powers. I don't have any say in that, but hey, if you're fucking funny and you're good, like, you know, hey, come, let us know. There might be something, you know, we don't have anything, but you know, that's how you get on people's radar. And if you're good enough, like, hey, we'd love to fucking have you. Love to see what you got. I got an idea about that. And we'll see where that goes. So.
So I think that's we're in idea phase. So we have a few things ironed out. We're just waiting for like T's to be crossed and I's to be dotted, and then we'll hit the ground running. I think everybody will really like it.
Exactly. So on that note, we will get into the NFL playoffs. We'll get into the Bears. We'll get into me going to like the worst Hawks game of the season.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, they're all bad.
Yeah.
They're all bad, but that one in particular was.
Yeah. But yeah, boys, fucking the radio hour's back.
Yep.
In due time. Hopefully once we get the tech side and everything ironed out.
Yeah.
I hope
it's
so. Watch
like,
me are like, we need like all this expensive shit, and they're like, no, which would fucking suck. But
well, we'll figure out another plan. But we'll figure it out. But we got new stuff coming. It's almost like, you know, it's kind of like the Bears, where it's like they have the number 1 pick. We're on the clock. We're just waiting for that. You can't, you know, celebrate that guy yet, but you know what's coming. You know it's going to be good. Like
exactly. But I want to be very clear too. Like, we'll be on these airwaves, and I'll be beating the fucking drum.
Yeah.
The number 1 Justin Fields, our quarterback, and that's still there too. Like, we are Chicago sports guys. Like there will be a medium for that too. So we will find out a way to navigate that, and we'll figure it out. So. Let's get into all that. Before we do, though, I do want to talk about ChevyDriveChicago.com. Your local Chevy dealers want to wish you a happy new year. There's no better way to kick off 2023 than with a brand new Chevy to drive around in. ChevyDriveChicago.com can help you pick out your new ride and find a dealer near you to order from. And don't forget to mark your calendars. The 2023 Chicago Auto Show is around the corner in February at McCormick Place. All your favorite Chevys will be there. Search Chicago Auto Show to learn more. ChevyDriveChicago.com, Chief.
Yeah, I'm on it right now because the office is moving. I bought my house near this office so I could walk. Looks like I'm going to need a new car. So Chevy Drive Chicago makes it super easy. Put in your zip code. Finds a dealership nearest you. They got great makes and models. You can check them all out, like you said, at the auto show coming around the corner. But if you want to go see them in the showroom, just type in your zip code. They'll pull it up right for you. It's the best. We love Chevy. They're all over Chicagoland.
Yep, they are. Go check them out. ChevyDriveChicago.com. Great sponsor, Chevy. And I should know, I don't want to get inundated with like requests and stuff. Like I said, still preliminary about that, like search for everything. We don't have hiring power, but I do have an idea to get some new blood in here and whatnot.
Yeah.
And that'll all happen in due time. So just be patient with us.
This is like, you know, DM Eddie.
Yeah. But just be patient with us. I'll shoot something out, and it'll be fun. It'll be fun. All right, to kick things off, obviously big news. Kevin Warren had his introductory press conference. Here's the thing. I'm happy about it. Like, I think what people want to knock Kevin Warren because he canceled the 2020 Big Ten season. Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? COVID was like so uncertain. Nobody knew what was going on. If you're going to hold that over his head, I think that's unfair.
I do too. The thing that I always I get mad at him for it, even though he did his job very well, which he saved the Big Ten because there's, you know, that was at a juncture. It's like things are splitting up. They're reshaping the whole league. You bring in UCLA, you bring in USC. I hate it as a traditionalist, but from where he's sitting, that's the right move. So he's able to navigate those deals, negotiate those deals, keep the Big Ten hyper relevant, maybe more relevant than ever. And yeah, I think that was great. Did you watch the press conference or some of it?
I watched some of it, and listen, the main talking points obviously is like, obviously he led the charge with, we're gonna win the North, we're gonna win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
It's what they all do, right? And it's what the head coach does. It's what the general manager does.
That makes sense. The GM and the head coach saying that makes sense. The president, like, to a degree, like, is it going to be siloed?
He's a football guy, though. But and that's the thing that's the biggest takeaway.
Yeah.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
That's the biggest takeaway where everyone should be happy about this. Is this guy's been in football his whole life,
Right?
Like, sure, McCaskey said that Ryan Poles is still going to have unilateral control over football decisions,
but he doesn't report to McCaskey anymore.
Yes,
he reports to Warren,
which is great.
Yeah,
and. The difference is that at least Warren's a football guy.
Yeah. Do you think Poles thinks it's great? Because he, theoretically, you could walk into McCaskey's office and say fucking anything and be like, well, and McCaskey be like, all right, well, go back to work. And Warren might have some like difficult questions for you. He might like make you show your work kind of thing. Where McCaskey just doesn't know, so you can say anything to him.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's the thing. Like, if in many ways, like the Bears' job was an awesome thing for a GM because if you wanted to do a great job, nobody bothers you. And obviously, if you were a fucking incompetent buffoon, you were like, oh, no one's ever going to find out. You know, you could be like a ghost payroll guy and be like, oh, I'm not fucking doing shit. No one's going to find out, Obviously, people would find out by the results in the field, but if you were just a moron, nobody would find out. However,
I feel like you had more job security.
Correct. Yes, correct. Yeah. But that's one of the biggest wins of the offseason already.
Totally.
That we have a guy who's been in football the whole time. Like, like he's not going to be making decisions. Like, I think he's going to let Poles do his job. But just that touchy feeling, like being like, something doesn't smell right. I don't like what's going on. That's huge, God. Man, that's huge.
It's great. And I found it kind of surprising that he has reportedly a quote unquote great relationship with Justin Fields. So if maybe they're at Big Ten championships or he's just going around campuses, but has a history with him. So it's just one more guy in executive role that believes in the quarterback. And that's a positive thing, I think. And it's just, I don't know. It's just, it feels like we're in a different era. And the most important thing for this franchise right now was obviously the stadium, the Arlington Park. So him being the guy who really had his fingerprints all over the Minnesota Vikings stadium, which I've never been there, but it looks spectacular on TV. And if he could execute something like that out in Arlington, well, you have a football guy and the president, you have a real NFL stadium that the team owns. All of a sudden, the Bears are starting to look like a competent franchise with a quarterback. I know it's probably early to judge Eberflus, but I like him. I've liked Poles' early return so far. So things are looking on a holistic level probably better than they ever have.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, listen, toss the fucking 2020 COVID shit out. Mm-hmm. I could take or leave the rah. We're gonna take the North. We're gonna take the NFC. We're gonna take the Super Bowl. I could take or leave that. Everybody says that. The two big things are that we have a football guy in charge who's going to be overseeing if our GM is competent or not.
Yep.
And then we have a person who is overseeing a stadium build that has done it before and is, by all accounts, overseeing one that has done a good job, right?
Yeah. The the big problem the Viking Stadium is, right?
What's that?
It kills like thousands of birds a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I knew that.
Oh, really? They have, because it looks spectacular. They have that natural sunlight coming in through all those windows. Mm-hmm. Well, one of the trade-offs is that birds just can't. They just think it's air.
Don't we got too many birds, though?
I think we got too many birds, especially out in Arlington.
Birds.
There's a ton of birds in Arlington.
Really?
They had no natural predators.
What's the bird stats for Arlington? Can we pull that up, Lance? Is there more birds per capita in Arlington Heights?
Do you know that house cats kill like 3 billion birds a year?
Really?
That's a fact.
I believe that.
Yeah, so don't even worry about having a house cat. You just have a stadium right in the middle of Chicagoland suburbs will kill all those birds.
Yeah, so that's crucial, right?
Yep.
That we have, those are the two big things. Yeah. And that they were like, hey, our sole focus is on the Arlington property.
Yeah, they totally ignored that
that's what I saw
the
was
sizzle reel from the city.
I feel bad for whoever spent their time on that. They hired a voiceover guy, great voiceover guy too. You know, they couldn't obviously get who's the guy that does the
John Facenda.
Yeah, Planet Earth too.
Oh, John Facenda's been dead for like 30 years, but he was the old NFL films guy.
Yeah, they can't get him obviously.
I don't know,
Attenborough?
ChatGPT or whatever. Yeah. Oh, the English guy. Yeah,
Couldn't get him.
he's the best.
I'm surprised they couldn't get Obama for that thing. For that
You
Soldier
know,
Field
I
video.
feel like maybe that was intent. Anytime Obama tried to get the Olympics or something like that, it just always fell a little bit short. So maybe he does. Although his national parks Netflix thing has been great to watch too.
I haven't seen that
Oh,
yet.
very good,
Yeah.
very good. Yeah, but I mean, this is such a small thing. But when I'm talking about the glass with the birds, I fucking love those stadiums that let in the natural light from outside. Like I need that. So when the Colts have that at Lucas Oil. The Vikings have
Cowboys
that.
do.
Cowboys have like the whole hole in the middle of their stadium. And then so it's just like, I don't know what it is, but sometimes like those weird shadows, I'm like, at least it's not outside. It's not bear weather, but at least we got some sunshine. So I hope they actually take that stadium that they mocked up for the city and just kind of use that exact same model and put it out in Arlington.
There we go. We got a bird check from Lance.
What do you got, Lance?
So from a place that does birding in Arlington Heights says they can find over 50 different species in Arlington Heights of just birds. So that I don't know if we can find a higher population there. There's 300 species in the state of Illinois. You can find 50 of them in Arlington Heights.
Okay, but we don't know if that's high or low though for
Look, if you got 50, I mean, I could probably do with 40. You lose 10 bird species. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I
A
guess.
goose? Was a goose one of those? Like who you know? It's. I think we're gonna be fine. I'm not too concerned about the birds. Yeah, I think this is on paper, and he says the right things. It's a home run hire, and it's like you're starting to have a hierarchy. I wonder, it's gonna be. I still think the McCaskies end up finding like they're gonna sell. So it's like you have the coach, the GM, the president, and then what? Because once Virginia passes, I believe it goes to Pat Ryan, and then he could come in and clean house theoretically if he wanted, since he'll be the guy in charge. So it'd be very interesting to see how it plays out. But as of right now, it's going well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going well.
No, it's good. I like the hire a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I do, and I think that's what he's a stadium nerd. He's a self-proclaimed stadium nerd. That's a big thing. Like, could you imagine? Like, no one's happy with Soldier Field right now. We're just not. It's just not a good experience. It's bad. It's hard to get in and out of. It's bordered by a lake and a highway and museums. It's just tough. It's just a tough experience. But could you imagine if they fucked up this new one? It would be a tough pill to swallow.
I don't think they can. I feel like they
but
have so.
If they hired the wrong person,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? Like, aren't they? Isn't there a couple rumors out there that people are a little unhappy with LA? Or am I making that up? No?
Wasn't that the one where it rains like on? Is that stadium you're talking about?
Yeah. I think there's like it's not fully domed. Or, I don't know. There's something wrong. Or I know they can't tailgate there.
Well,
I think they were saying it's not fully a dome, so that when it rains,
okay.
There's like side windows where the rain comes in and like hits the fans. But
Yeah.
I might be
How
wrong
often
about
does
that.
it rain in LA?
No,
Wasn't that-
I remember someone saying something about that. Then I remember there was a big hoopla about the college football championship was there and they couldn't tailgate. So like shit like that.
And then it happened to be raining on just the TCU fans while they were getting their ass kicked. I remember I saw that clip.
Yeah, see? Like things like that where
Yeah.
it's like you're seeing what works and what doesn't work.
Yeah, but I would say that Arlington Park property is so big. It's like 350 acres. There's going to be room for everything. I think the Vegas stadium sits on like 70 acres. So like they have 5 times the amount of area as Vegas did. Like they're going to be able to do a sprawling tailgate area, plenty of parking, world-class stadium, fucking probably hotels, shops, bars. That would be kind of like the Ricketts, like you're getting greedy, is if they built up all these like bars, restaurants, and those took the place of like the traditional tailgate areas, because it's like, no, we want all the revenue.
I know. I'm just saying, like there's ways to fuck it up.
Yeah,
That's my point. is could you imagine if they hired someone who did fuck it up?
Yeah.
Because there are ways to fuck these things up.
We
know that.
It'll get fucked up in some regard, but I do think that, putting it at the Soldier Field site, not to make excuses for how they did the renovation the last time because it was a disaster, but it has some footprint limitations with what you said. There's the train track, there's the lake, there's Michigan Avenue, there's, you have the columns to work around. They don't have any of that. They are totally unencumbered. They have a massive piece of property that's 5 times as big as what they really actually need. And I think they'll do a great job.
Yeah. You know what I will say though? I do hope we find something else to do with Soldier Field though. There is a part of me that's like, it is sad to see something be.
Well, I mean, our guy keeps saying, put the White Sox there. Our Dominican correspondent.
Or a Dominican yeah.
Still kind of South Side, in a way.
South Loop.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's a great piece of property. They just shouldn't have fucked it up to begin with.
Something I was talking about with one of my friends the other day too, and I would like to ask White Sox Dave this, and maybe our White Sox fan contingent could listen to this and get back to me too. How come the White Sox, and for a team that makes this seating chart that's so ridiculous and that's looking to kind of nickel and dime, why don't they have concerts?
I mean, it's a great question.
Why don't they seem to have any other?
They have no
event?
Other revenue generating anything there. Nothing in the winter, like the way that Wrigley did, and it's different because it's Wrigley.
Yeah.
But
they can't really do Kindle Market like Wrigley can. I get that.
No, but you could put a fucking skating rink in there. You could host an outdoor high school hockey tournament. Like you can do things to like just get eyes on the White Sox and get people in and around that stadium.
Dude, there's a lure to that. People like to fucking pull up and park and tailgate. Like there's.
I mean, did you come to the speed pitch thing in 2019?
I was out of town.
You were out of town. So that was like an impromptu. I mean, it was right after we started this job. So impromptu competition where they had a speed pitch thing where they, I don't know, hundreds of people, and Dave, Carl, and I all went. And they bring it through the bowels of the stadium, the concourse, and they did it on a whim. And it was like, here, throw as hard as you can. You're in the outfield bullpen, and it was the coldest day of the year. And people show up. People will show up for unique events at a professional sports stadium, regardless of the temperature. So they could do a thing like that a month to generate either revenue or goodwill or stuff for charity. Like they could make a lot more use out of than what they're doing.
Yeah, like I know they did that. Chance the Rapper, I think Ice Cube was there too. They did a big concert there at one point. Mm-hmm. It had to be 5 years ago at this.
But like now. The Cubs do what, 6 a year?
Yeah, like and it's a great
it is.
venue. And I know Wrigley is like obviously people walk there, people take public transportation there, and obviously people could obviously take the train too.
Yeah.
People take the red line there as well, but. At the same time, I don't know. There is something. I find there's a lure of going to Sox Park too. Like I like the tailgating aspect, and I like the fact that you could easy in and out of your car. There is. I just wonder why there's not more non-game day. Sorry, now we're on stadium tangents, but
I
don't know. If someone could answer for that for me listening, please let me know.
Seems like a miss.
It does. It does. I don't know. It's weird that they just don't. And at least try. They had, who they had there? What they had that fucking the preacher guy there one time.
Preacher guy.
The guy who didn't let people in his church when it flooded.
Oh,
Osteen.
Joel Osteen. Yeah. They had him do a big.
I believe they had
Joel
him.
Osteen.
Yeah, I believe they had him. He'll get the fucking. That'd be standing room
He turns
only.
people out.
Fuck yeah.
That's always one of those things where I'm like, damn, there's that many people like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because he and doing it in Texas, like, yeah, okay, like that makes a little bit more sense. Of course, he can fill in, the old Houston Rockets stadium, but doing like an impromptu one, like, where are those people coming from?
They're all over Grays Lake, Lance and the boys. They'll drive down. They'll hop in a Grand Prix. Chinny and the boys, they'll be coming down. They're all over the place.
Shout out Chinny.
Yeah.
That was 2011.
That Chance the Rapper concert?
No. The Joel Osteen.
Osteen?
Yeah, 2011. Night of Hope.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, they just don't. It was a great question that was posed, and I was like, that's a great point.
Is this a Reinsdorf operation?
But if you would think maybe Jerry doesn't want anything to do with it. Too much of an asshole.
But like, no one's asking you to go, Jerry. Just like leave the door unlocked. It's not that big of a deal. Have someone, you pay people to do shit like that. Are they just like, and that's like if you're stadium operations or whatever, and it's just like, well, I got to get ready for, have everything ready to go by April 1st. And then come October 1st, you're done. It's like a 6-month-a-year job.
This fucking Arlington Heights Dome's going to have some banger concerts, though.
Oh, it's going to have everything.
Taylor Swift's going to be fucking packing 110K in there.
Get the whole field.
There's going to be a lot of people in there.
Swedish House Mafia.
Swedish House Mafia.
Come back.
Yeah, they'll be coming back for that one. Fucking Harry will be there eating sandwiches and shit. It'll be a fucking good time. Besides that, really, Bears really, I don't know. Justin Fields, he bought a grill for the offensive lineman.
Nice move.
It's a nice gift.
I did. This is such a meatball thing, though, too. When they had this like behind the scenes footage of Kevin Warren like touring the facility. He stops through the weight room. The only guy in there is Fields. Just gives him a quick tap. The guy's already back to work. Like I know that's like a meatball thing to care about, or maybe it was contrived. I fell for it and I loved it.
You like that?
I like that.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like that?
Getting work in.
But besides that, I mean, we could touch on the NFL playoffs a little bit.
Yeah.
And it is Bears related too. Cody Parkey started kind of going a little revival after that.
Partly because of you.
Well,
I feel like you pushed that out a little. I didn't need this. It did not occur to me until you started posting.
Well, everyone's
Cody Parkey
like
stuff.
talking about Maher, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I don't think I've ever seen this before." And sometimes you just gotta let people know, like hey. I hit Kevin. Did you see what I did there? I did the Kanye West with the fucking Taylor Swift. I said, Kevin, I'm gonna let you finish, but Cody Parkey hit the fucking upright 4 times. He didn't just miss; he hit it 4 times.
And it's a lot easier to have missed kicks when you're up 30-0. It's like, oh shit, we could be up 34, whatever the score was. It was like the game was never in doubt. Where Cody Parkey was like, this is gonna come back to bite us in the ass, and eventually it did. So that one was against the Dolphins, right? Did he get cut?
No, that was the Lions game.
That was
the Lions game where he hit the upright 4 times.
Maher?
Maher? No, wait, what's going on? I don't know if I saw anything. Has he been cut yet?
I mean, he had, and they kept saying it during the broadcast, that he had like a very strong year. I think he only missed 3 kicks all year. I think they're
sticking with him, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, hey,
I think honestly, everyone was asking that. I think that's what I thought the logic was of keep putting him out there. Because he was a great kicker. Like, he was different than Cody Parkey, where it's like you guys were like expecting it. Maher was like, I had him on my fantasy team. He was like one of the best, like top 5 kickers in the league.
I think he missed like 5 kicks all year. He was like 8 for 10 from like 50 yards out or something.
Yeah, but then you have like Dak having like a meltdown on the sideline and while they're up big, and he's like, go for fucking 2. Like, so there's something going on. You're telling me that's not going to enter their heads heading if they have a tight spot. If it's, let's say it's 4th and 2 from the 30, okay, I feel like that's getting in their head, and they're probably like, yeah, I don't know, let's just fucking go for it.
Yeah, it's gonna enter their heads, dude.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's like, and it's just because it's last week, and if that game doesn't happen last week, or let's say they figured out, there's a way that the Cowboys got the bye, they're entering that San Francisco game with like no worries about their kicker at all. Now it's like you have a big decision every time that it's a goal-to-go situation.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised they're sticking with him. I like the decision to send him out a 3rd and a 4th time, like, because you got to keep doing it.
Did he ever make one?
He made the 5th.
Yeah,
he made the 5th, and ESPN didn't show it. They didn't show it, and it was like, what are you doing? Yeah, and that's everyone gets mad at them for not showing shit, so I think it's on them.
I agree. So,
stop showing this shit culture.
Yeah, extra points is one thing, but I mean, like, you can't win the Super Bowl without a kicker. Like, it's such a like everyone likes to shit on the kicker, but now you're going on. They're underdogs in that game. It's San Francisco minus 3.5. So a little being the home team plus a little juice.
I hope he figures it out. It's sad to see.
Yeah, but it's also like, I wonder if he had just been nails in that game, what that line is.
Yeah.
Maybe it's closer to an even even line at kickoff, because that is like.
I mean, they're on the road. 49ers look tough.
They do, but it's Brock Purdy, rookie quarterback, and again, he looked pretty good.
And the Buccaneers are so fucking bad. Like that, just watching them a lot this year, and then thinking, all right, Jensen came back, and their wide receiver core is fully healthy, and maybe they'll fucking figure out. They
fired Leftwich.
Pathetic.
Fired Leftwich on Monday morning or Tuesday morning.
I wonder how he feels.
Yeah,
passing up on that Jags job and
to work with Tom Brady, and it sounds like Tom Brady's out. Yeah. I think he'll play next year, but I don't know if he'll play there.
No, you can't go back there.
Yeah, and he did his job there. He got them a Super Bowl.
Time
to leave. But yeah, I mean, they were 8-9.
And I mean, hey, and this is also like we all relating back to the Bears. Like if Tom Brady does leave, which by all accounts it feels like he's going to, are they just going to bottom out? And if they bottom out, does that mean they're going to give up Mike Evans? Does that mean they're going to give up Godwin? And if they give up those guys, what would they cost? Are those guys the Bears should explore? Mike Evans has 9 straight seasons over 1,000 yards.
See,
he's going to be 30.
Exactly. So I wish that number was 5 straight seasons and he was 26.
Of course. Same thing with Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Same thing with fucking DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think I want any of those guys.
But
it depends on like if you're one of those types of guys away from winning the Super Bowl, and this is where it's like again, like I got a dumb brain, but I saw one of those mock draft things. It was in the Athletic mock drafts that has like the trades included, and they had Bears go to 4, and they pick up. So it's the number 1 for the Colts, 4th overall, the Colts top of the 2nd round pick, which is like 35th. And then a 1st round pick next year was the price to move up to number 1 from the Colts. And if that's the deal, I can't say yes quick enough. The other thing that intrigued me is that JSN from Ohio State, he's sliding a little bit. To me, I think that he's like the perfect, like he's what they need, like a great route, like a precision. He's almost like Marvin Harrison Sr., where he's like this great route runner and a guy who can be your first down guy. And then you got a couple of touchdown type guys with Mooney and Claypool, and all of a sudden it all kind of comes together. They had him down at the, I think, 31st overall pick.
Yeah, you could look at a rookie, or you could look at one of those 3 guys, and one of those 3 guys slots you at wide receiver 1 right away.
Yes.
Right away.
Yeah.
But they're over 30.
But they're all over 30.
How do you look at that? What are they going to cost?
What are they going to cost? And what is like your window for winning kind of starts now, and you hope that it could last.
You hope it starts now.
You hope it starts now, but that's in theory. It starts now.
I think so too. I think we're going to compete for a wild card next year.
Right. And we've talked about that last place schedule. They got all the money. We'll see how they spend it, and maybe that will kind of indicate what they're looking for in the draft is what they bring in at wide receiver. Because if they don't sign anybody at wide receiver in March, then you got to think that they're probably drafting somebody high in the draft as a wide receiver. And you would think, who knows? I mean, they got a lot of holes. But that scenario where they end up with Carter, and then they find a way to get one of the top wide receivers, and I think JSN is that guy. Who is like in my brain, it makes sense where it's like you have your first down guy who's going to run all the right routes, all those times where it's like, hey, it's 3rd and whatever, we're running the 2-minute drill and nobody's fucking open. Well, now there's theoretically a guy who could be open.
Are you so much opposed to kicking the can down the road one more year on that though? Like it seems like you want that 1st round pick, like you want to move back this year. If the Colts were to give their pick for next year, it seems like you don't want to do that. Because I think the Colts are going to be bad. And if you can get a situation where you get a high pick next year, I think you get fucking Harrison Jr., like I would be all about that.
I mean, you might be able to do both. Like that's what that projected trade was 4, 35 or whatever it is, and 24
I
number
misheard
1.
You then.
Yeah,
okay.
So you get multiple first rounders.
That'd be beautiful.
Yeah, because I agree. Marvin Harrison Jr.
He's the guy.
He's like fucking Megatron kind of. He's a freak wide receiver. So
he's the guy.
He is.
Yeah.
So you kind of, but yeah, like I would rather do like a rookie this year than get an aging guy, because I don't think they're that far off, because I like what Kmet did. I think Claypool will be a perfectly serviceable third option, red zone, deep ball, jump ball kind of guy. Mooney I like, and then you just need like that guy who can create, it's 3rd and 7, create a little separation on a slant or an out, and pick and just keep moving the ball down the field so Fields doesn't have to run for everything and take so many hits. So I think that to me would be fucking ideal, and I think you can probably find that.
Yeah, we'll see. Besides that, I mean, the playoffs, obviously the Jaguars, insane comeback.
Insane.
Shout
out Jack McCarthy. He's the one. I mean, if you watch the streams, you know Jack McCarthy, the number one Jags fan on the planet. So he had a future on them to win the AFC South, and then he bet them live when they were down like I think 20-0, and it came all the way back and got it. So shout out Jack McCarthy, and yeah, Trevor Lawrence. I think he's ascending into that category of those elite AFC quarterbacks, because as bad as he with all the picks and everything, it was still like you're just not out of the game because he's that good.
I had this conversation yesterday about who the top 10 quarterbacks are in football, and it's actually very hard. It's hard to have it right now.
Ranked?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's hard.
If you're
maybe we'll save it for next week. We'll put a tickler file in there.
Okay.
Do that. We'll put a tickler in it. We'll do it next week. But it's very hard to have it right now because there's this weird place of guys like Brady and Rodgers where it's like, where do they stand right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
and a guy like Watson too, who like hasn't played really in 2 years. Where like those three,
I think 5 of them are still playing football right now. 5 of the 10 are still in the playoffs right now. If you have Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Lawrence, and I think Jalen Hurts is.
See, I think Lawrence is not locked top 10.
I think he's 10.
I don't think so.
I
don't think he's a lock of the top 10 at all.
I think if you're like going through it, if I was like, hey, like I need a quarterback, and I can have any quarterback in the league, and you're starting a team, I guess that changes the narrative. Do you need to win 1 year or 1 season or 1 game, or you're building for the future? But I think I would take Lawrence over.
And I think you got to start with a wide list of 10.
Yeah.
And you got to start very conservative. Like you got to be like, all right, like, hey, let's throw them in. Got to be easy throwing them in. And I think obviously Mahomes. If you start guys who are left, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen are locks
for sure.
Yeah.
See, then I think
I think Hurts is probably based on the year he's had. I think he's probably there.
I think he's there too, and I personally have Lawrence there. And then to me, you start talking about the older guys.
And like, I mean, you got to kick Russ out, but like he's a guy.
Got to kick Russ out. And then Herbert, he's probably knocking on the door, right?
Yes, you would take fucking Lawrence over Herbert?
I would take Lawrence over Herbert.
See, I think I'd take Herbert over Lawrence.
It's a big argument right now.
What's that?
That's a pretty big social media argument.
That's
right
the
now.
debate.
The Herbert versus Lawrence. Well, yeah. I mean, to your point, like I saw like a tweet. It's kind of like eye opening. Like we're all like relatively the same age. Like it's like a whole changing of the guard when you see all the quarterbacks left. If you list them out right now, the remaining quarterbacks, and like for this next round, the divisional round, it's like the oldest one is Dak Prescott at 29, and then the rest are just like it's the future of the NFL right now, basically. So,
yeah, big time.
Like that era of Breeze, Rodgers, Brady,
Manning,
yeah, both Mannings,
yeah,
big time.
Even Russ is in there. Like that's all done. Like it's kind of crazy now.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like those 4 guys, it's tough. Where you like they're old, but there were 3 like legends in Rodgers, Brady, and Russ.
Yeah. Yeah, like those guys. I mean,
legends.
They're all probably Hall of Famers. Russ.
Russ
borderline.
Dude, Russ is taking so much heat. Like,
he had a bad year. Yeah.
Like, dude, it's like what he's been able to do is like a fucking 5'11". Like what people thought he was going to be. Like I respect him a lot. But regardless, all right. If you want to do it now, we can do it now.
Might as well.
Let's fucking do it now. All right, Josh Allen's in there.
Yeah.
Tua is not.
No.
Mac Jones is not. Whatever the Jets.
Fuck no.
Whatever the Jets have going on is not. Sorry.
Yeah.
I want to circle back on Lamar Jackson. I'd be willing to possibly go there.
Yeah. How many you have listed now?
Just one, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Joe Burrow is in there.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson, I don't know what to say about the guy. He hasn't played in 2 years. So, 2 years ago, yes, but not now. Kenny Pickett is not in there right now. Whatever the Texans have going on is definitely not. Same with the Colts.
It is hard. It is hard to do.
Trevor Lawrence, we could circle back on that. Tannehill, no. Broncos, Russ, I don't know.
It's also I have to kind of retrain my brain about the stats, because having a guy over 4,000 yards used to be very rare, even 10 years ago. You get like the top 9 guys in passing yards, which Trevor Lawrence is one of them, all over 4,100 yards. And Brady still threw for 4,700 yards. So I kind of feel like, as bad as his year was,
he's still there.
I think he's still
maybe. And I'm not saying, and I'm saying
top quarterback emeritus.
I want to throw the for sure's in first.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no to Lamar and Trevor. All right, Mahomes, yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And then Derek Carr, probably not.
No.
Herbert. I
think Herbert's in the top 10. Now that I'm looking at the list, I think Herbert's in the top 10.
So AFC give the nod to 4 out of the gate, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's Allen, Burrow, Herbert,
Mahomes.
And Mahomes. You go to the East, or you go to the NFC. Dak, no. But maybe you could. I'll circle back on Dak.
Okay.
Remind me who we're circling back on, Lance. Daniel Jones, no. Jalen Hurts has had such a great year.
Jalen Hurts is there.
Where I think I would give it to him this year. Commanders, no. Justin Fields, that would be so homer to give it to him right now. I love what Goff is doing, but I can't give it to him. Rodgers.
I think he still is.
Yeah.
Unless he retires.
Yeah. See, Cousins is interesting. I think Cousins is fucking.
You can make an argument for Cousins.
Yes, I do too.
Yeah.
I think Cousins is really good. So let's circle back on Cousins. And
we got a big circle back list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big circle back on Cousins and Rodgers, okay? Falcons, no. Panthers, no. Saints, no. Brady.
I think Brady's still there.
You think so?
Top 10? Yeah. I think he's still. Because, at the end of the day, you got a playoff game. Are you going with Kirk Cousins or are you going with Tom Brady?
I know, but we're not arguing that, though.
That is kind of what you're arguing. If you give them all, if you're the Minnesota Vikings and you have all these weapons everywhere, would you rather have Tom Brady or would you rather have Kirk Cousins? And I think you'd be crazy to take Kirk Cousins.
Put Brady on the circle back for now. And then the West can get out of my face as well. Even though Stafford just won a Super Bowl, but he's been hurt.
Yeah.
All right. Listen. So who are we circling back on? We got 5.
Yeah, so we've got to circle back on Lamar, Trevor Lawrence, Russ, Dak, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Kirk Cousins.
So we got 7?
And Deshaun.
I think we ruled out Deshaun.
So we got 7?
Yeah.
All right, so we got 5 in and we got 7.
All right, I'm kicking Russ out.
Wait, so we got, all right, so say that list again.
So it's Lamar,
okay,
Trevor Lawrence,
okay,
Russell Wilson,
okay,
Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, I think Russ is an easy kick out. He was so bad.
I'm not a big Lamar guy, but I'm still taking.
I'm putting Lamar in.
I'm putting Lamar in too.
Yeah, I'm putting Lamar in.
So then Kirk is out, and I think that's fair. Kirk's a perfect guy to get you exactly where the Vikings got to.
Yeah, and he also is prototypical 11th best quarterback.
Yeah, right.
He is.
You're not necessarily
but I don't know if
you would anybody ahead of him on our list. The Vikings would trade Kirk Cousins for straight up.
Yeah, if you're talking about glass half full, him versus Trevor Lawrence, sure, you're taking I'll take the potential of Trevor Lawrence.
There is also the thing where the Vikings, the rest of their team is so fucking stacked with Adam Thielen and Hawkinson and Justin Jefferson's best receiver in the league. They got 2 really good running backs. They have a good offensive line. He's surrounded. He's in a dream situation.
Sure, and he's proven time and time again that he can't.
This is the second time in our Barstool career that we've had disagreements over Kirk Cousins. we had one where because you were higher on him before, and because we were going through like potential. I think this was like
no. Listen, if you're telling me like who do I want to win, like Kirk Cousins he's proven time he can't fucking do it.
Yeah,
he can't. Like, but if it's like a 17-game season, like he's gonna have a good year.
Right. He'll never lose anything for you necessarily, but you are very limited. Like you have to have like the Trent Dilfer Ravens defense.
So then take him out. Then give me Chiefs list then. Let me see if I could swap Kirk Cousins for someone. If I could find someone for Cousins.
So, if you eliminate Russell Wilson and Kirk Cousins, what you have left in that list. And we're including Lamar. It would be Trevor Lawrence, Dak, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
Trevor Lawrence, Dak, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
I think that's the list. That's the top 10. It wasn't easy, like you said. Not easy, but that is the list. Because I would take Dak over Kirk. That's a close one, though.
Was the league in picks?
He did. I still think Dak is, that.
He did.
Fuck.
He did. I'm telling you, like it gets like hazy there between like you sold me on like listen, like I was like Rodgers and Brady, like that was you got me there, right? And I'm not even fully against that. I'm saying like what I was saying was let's put the.
I feel like you're fighting the label more than you're fighting the reality, like because saying you guys a top 10 quarterback like kind of means something. And you're like, is he top 10? But when you go through the exercise of going through every guy, they're in the top 10.
Yeah.
But they're not like, hey, we're hitching our wagon to this guy necessarily. It's just like they're still there kind of by default.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yep. That's the list. Do you have any early bets on the weekend ahead?
I haven't made anything yet.
Okay.
I haven't made anything yet. We'll see. Obviously, that Bengals-Bills game is very interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all going to be pretty good. Divisional game, Giants-Eagles. So, it's playoffs. It's a great weekend. 2 games each day.
This is my dad's favorite weekend of the whole year.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there anything you like?
Round. I think I'm on the Brock train. Big cock Brock. I think I'm going to bet the Niners at home. And I think the Eagles are going to kill the Giants. So I'm on both. I'm on the home teams for the NFC. I might parlay those together. The other ones, I feel like, man, maybe it's just because Jack McCarthy texts me a bunch now, but he bet the Jags money line to beat the Chiefs, and it's like I got kind of so when he was in town for the Roan, it was Bears Eagles game. Was at the can't remember what the day was. I started betting the Jags like from that. I bet them that day, and I've bet them. Since I had a monster parlay on the Jags money, it was included with the Jags money line for the Chargers game that they came back and was like plus 1,200. It was like one of my biggest parlay wins of all time. Like I got a lot of like my heart is with the Jags, and then I also kind of just want to win this argument where Trevor Lawrence is top 10, and if he beats Pat Mahomes, then you have to apologize next week.
Yeah, and I'm hoping Justin Fields is in there very soon.
Yeah, we'll see. Get a receiver and some line, and he'll be in there
very soon.
Some of those guys retire.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. Good weekend of football.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I went to like the worst Hawks game. Was that the worst Hawks game of the year?
I mean, it's probably tied with like 7 other games. At least you had some entertainment and they fought back. How long did you stay? Would be the first question.
Well, I stayed like with 6 minutes left in the first.
Because it was 6-1. That was the night. So I went to see Louis C.K. that night. So I didn't really see the game, but I like pulled up like I don't know. Right when the show was about to start, you get to put your phone away. I'm like, holy fuck, they're getting absolutely smoked. But it's one of those things where I just don't care. Like, I don't care. Seattle's actually sneaky. I think they're going to make the playoffs. Yeah. They're a pretty good team. They're in a good spot right now. So it was like, yeah, like they're going to get fucking dusted by the better teams. And that's just the reality of being a Blackhawks fan right now. It's crazy that this was kind of like the last big homestand before the deadline, and you got to go to a game. Did Kaner play that night? He did, right? Was that his first game back?
Yes,
second game back. So you got to have like your little in-person send off for Kaner. But yeah, like that was like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's a tank. It's a fucking tank.
Exactly.
And they've been playing better. You know, Seth Jones had they played Buffalo last night. He had the goal to tie late in the game. scored the OT winner. He's getting healthy. It's almost like you guys got to chill. Like everything was going to plan. Now they're currently have the third best odds at Bedard, and you can't have this.
Can't have that.
You can't have that. So they've won 4 out of 5 now. That's gross. That's not what we're trying to do. And I love how the tankathon, you know how normally you have like the results, like if you win, it's green. If you lose, it's in red. It's flipped on tankathon. So like the wins are all like, oh, fuck, we got to win. It's all in red. So they got Philly. Philly's a terrible team. St. Louis is a terrible team. They have like this, they only have 5 home games between now and March 2nd. So I do feel like by the time the deadline rolls around, they'll be at least where they are now, probably a little bit worse. And then when they sell off, you're asking if maybe that was the worst game pre-deadline. That roster is going to be so bare bones after the deadline. Charlie Roumeliotis sat down with Taves, and Pat Boyle did Kane. They both sound like they're just fucking checked out. Taves more than Kane, I'd say. So I think they're both going to get traded. And then Domi will get traded. Anthony C will get traded. Jake McCabe will probably get traded. They're going to have it's going to be a minor league team for the last month and a half, and that's where the real tank comes in. So it's bad. Do you have a good hot dog or anything at least there?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, it was.
A big crowd that night too, wasn't it?
It was full.
Yeah,
it was like full.
Right.
I mean, just looking around, and it was
Saturday.
Remind you of MSG.
yeah, that's exactly. I looked around, I was like, man, this smells like MSG.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it was.
Smelled like 2015.
Yeah, it smells like 2015. No, it was full, and it was just you blinked, and it was 6-1.
Yeah,
and people were mad. It was
Richardson flipped his shit after the game.
Did he?
That was the angriest I've ever heard him. Mm-hmm. Was after that game.
Yeah,
so.
it was pretty pathetic.
Yeah,
but like you said, it's the tank. Everyone, I'm just what I gathered. I'm just the greatest tank guy we got. So
they should just be giving you glass seats the rest of the way.
Exactly. So Danny Wirtz, if you need me there, let me know.
Yep.
We'll get Bedard here in no time. If that's what we need.
We'll see. The Chicklets guys are so in my head about that.
Dude, are you buying more into that?
I think I don't know a lot about Gary Bettman, but there is one thing I do know is that he is vindictive. And I do, if he thinks the Hawks played ball with him, with that whole investigation, then, which I think they did, then I think we'll see what the lottery balls turn out. But I don't think it's beyond the question that he would fuck with it and give it to Arizona or somebody else that hasn't had a real star. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it'll be Columbus. So those are the bottom 3 right now: the Hawks, Columbus, and Arizona. I can't see them and Anaheim. Like, who are you gonna give them to one of those teams? Yeah. The Arizona one kind of makes some sense, but everybody else is like, man, like you don't want him in Columbus. Like, if you heard Johnny Hockey's name, and he was with Calgary before, now he goes to Columbus. Like, I don't even know if he's played a game this year.
Yeah.
So
it's also possible that this thing's really a lottery and nothing's rigged.
It could be. That's not as fun.
Yeah,
and like I want somebody to be angry at if the balls don't bounce on my.
I know, right?
Way. Yeah,
right.
It will be Bettman.
I know.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, it's hard to watch. Like, they played Buffalo last night, and I like kind of watched, and they were competitive, and Buffalo's kind of a fun young team, and it's just like, ugh, like it does remind you of like 2005. Coming back from the lockout, where it's just like, man, this team is fucking garbage, and it's weird because it's an old team. Like, there's no like, oh, he's a nice young player. Like, well, we could see how this team get good in the future. There's none of that. So you just have to kind of hold your nose and hope they get Bedard, because it's not going to be fun the rest of the year.
How many more chances to see
Kane at home? I think it's 5 between now and the deadline if he's healthy, and I think that hip is actually really bothering him. They got LA this coming Sunday, Anaheim and Arizona the 7th and the 10th, Toronto and Vegas, and then that's it. So that's February 21 against Vegas, which is a Tuesday, will be your last time to see Patrick Kane in a Blackhawks uniform, unless they don't trade him. And then it's like they play Dallas like on trade deadline day. So like we'll at home. So it's going to be it'll be it's the closer we get to it. I just don't see a scenario where those guys are here. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of waffled on that a little bit, but I feel like it's a pretty miserable organization culture. They just don't seem like they're having any fun at all on the ice, and I just can't imagine. Unless Kane, the only way he's not traded, I think, is if he shuts it down because of his injury, and then he signs a 1-year deal, and we just do this whole thing again next year. But maybe at that point, it's like, you have Bedard, and he's having a little bit of fun. I also think, I had heard from somebody that they would have signed DeBrincat if he would have agreed to an 8-year by $8 million deal. His agent wanted 10, so they traded him. DeBrincat's not having a monster year up in Ottawa. I think he's on pace for like 25 goals, which is a good year, but it's not. He was getting 40, 45 before. Do you throw him an offer sheet? Because you'll have Taves' money off the books. You'll have Kane's big contract off the books. The cap's going up. You have a very young team. So when you have a young team, everybody's on an entry. The point is, they're going to have money. And do you accelerate this rebuild by making a couple little strategic trades, signing DeBrincat, Bedard? If you do, and then you bring back Kane, if you do all those things, it'll get better in a hurry. And I've decided the clock's starting to tick on Davidson. I've stomached 1 year of this under your leadership. I had 7 before that, and you were there the whole time. And if this thing doesn't get turned around quickly, I'm going to start to be pissy and pissy on the internet, at least.
Chiefy threat.
Yeah. So, but it's like enough already. So like you've had a treasure trove of first round draft picks. If you get Bedard, then I do think that you got to put your foot on the gas and try to be like, all right, well, we have our centerpiece. Let's make sure that we've used some of these assets that we've acquired to surround him the right way so he doesn't turn into fucking McDavid 2.0 where he's lamenting while being one of the best players in the league.
And we know that he's McDavid. He's not Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's not exactly like McDavid, but I think he's in he'll be that echelon where he's going to come in. He's still only 17 too. Yeah. Like he's still only 17, but he'll come in next year and like some guys like, even Taves got drafted, went back to college. That won't happen. He's going to come in and play right away and be awesome right away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Alluding to.
Yeah. I know what you mean, but he is a true franchise type guy. Mm-hmm. So.
All right.
And then we'll get our season tickets. That's our scheme.
That's it. Well, no. Cut that.
Cut that part.
Cut that. All right, we'll see. Anything else?
That's all I got.
That's all we got. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Big announcement off the top. We'll have more as time comes out. I'm sure we'll have more next week and in the following weeks. Hopefully, we just won't. Things will flip as soon as possible.
Right.
But yeah, thanks for sticking with us. Thank you for watching as always. We appreciate the fuck out of you guys. And
you've been staring into the camera a lot today. Like you're trying to get personal with the audience.
Well, it is. It is like a personal thing when things are changing, dude.
Yeah, big time.
So that's it, everybody. Thanks for listening. And that's Redline Radio. We will see you guys next time.